I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers!
All right. Welcome to Stars and Marvel episode 35. This episode we're breaking down Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Part two of this trilogy.
Which I kind of figured they were going to do a trilogy, but I wasn't expecting it at first. I wasn't expecting, I mean, I'm not going to say what it was, but I wasn't expecting this movie to end on a cliffhanger.
That's what I wanted to establish here. Like, let's say we'll do initial non-spoilers, but it is very hard to talk non-spoilers.
Yeah.
I think it's really just what is our thoughts overall on the movie. Because so like if you don't know, it is definitely the second of a trilogy. They did announce that, and that's what I knew going into this. It was part two of a trilogy. I wasn't sure to the extent that it was going to happen. And I sure wasn't prepared, like you just said. This movie's fantastic. This movie is it's phenomenal. It's amazing. It's spectacular. It's so good. And I gotta say, I've been seeing, I don't know if you've seen this, Brendan. I've been seeing a lot of it on YouTube, on Twitter, and I fully agree. This deserves at least a nomination at Best Picture. We're not talking Best Animation.
Not even animation, just Best Picture.
Best. The last movie to get, I forget which more recent. So three. I was talking to my buddy. Shout out Will. I was talking to Will, and I said that to him, and he's like, "That's like never happened." I was like, "Bitch, it's happened 3 times." The 3 times a movie's been nominated for Best Picture that was animated was Beauty and the Beast, Up, and Toy Story 3. And I was like, I can do it. I mean, Up and Toy Story 3 for sure. Yeah. Beauty and the Beast was pretty phenomenal at the time. Yeah. But that's the other thing is this, like, animation, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen animated.
I could do a whole video just on the animation and like the way they, oh my God, like this movie is I told you this, but immediate 10 out of 10. Like, amazing. The writing, the acting, the animation, just everything. Like, I don't know how Sony fucks up so bad on their regular Spider-Verse movies, but the animated Spider-Man movies are just amazing. Like I don't know what it is.
It's night and day, on quality. And I truly think it's because, like, so I just kind of joked about like Hollywood doesn't take animation seriously. No. They don't. And I think that goes just as true for Sony as a company. Yeah. My guess is, the in live action movies, they got their grubby fingers all over, but the animation, Lord and Miller, right? Oh. They're like, can we? And they're I'm gonna
do a quick bow to that. I love Lord and Miller. Like, dude, they are
so good.
If you don't know who they are, if you're listening, I think it's Chris Lloyd and Phil Miller, or maybe Phil Lloyd and Chris Miller. So I forget what order of names it is, but they are a duo of directors. They did the Lego movie. I think that was like their big intro into like Hollywood. I'm sure they did a bunch of other stuff before that, but like their big push was the Lego movie. And I don't know about you, but I loved the first Lego movie.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
And then they've done a few other things after that. I believe they did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Do you know what live action movies they did?
No.
21 Jump Street.
Okay, that makes sense. Sense. Very similar humor. Okay.
That's what these guys are. They're just
hilarious
geniuses.
And they were the original directors for Solo, and then got canned, and Ron Howard took over.
That's right.
I'm sure if they directed it, like fully directed it, it would have been way better than it turned out to be. But besides the point, they did such an amazing job on Into the Spider-Verse, and then Across the Spider-Verse. This movie, my opinion, this movie blew the first one out of the water. Like, I enjoyed the first one. I thought the first one was a little slow at points,
That's certainly not an issue in this movie.
No,
It does not. I remember distinctly the final scene happening, and I'm like, this is the end of the movie. Have we been here 2.5 hours? I mean, is this? Have we been here this long?
I was like, this is like I remember going to see it because me and you both rewatched the first one the night before.
Yep.
And I was watching it and I was like, yeah, I enjoyed the first one. It was good. I really enjoyed it in theaters, but I was like, I don't know. There's just something. There wasn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good. I would give it about like an 8.59 out of 10. The first one. Still really enjoyed it. Great movie, but I don't know what it is. But the second one just. Everything just hit so perfectly. Like everything was perfectly written, perfectly timed. Everything was perfectly placed. Like, God, I just if this movie had a dick, I'd suck it. Like, that's
we're there. We're at that point.
We're at that point.
I mean, it is. See, I do think I disagree on placement.
Okay.
But like if I'm rating this, we'll talk rating. I think later. But like. You just said it. No, fuck it. I'll just rating. I would Into the Spider-Verse before this movie is 3-way tied for me best Spider-Man movie. Okay. I go back and forth between. Well, I sorry, take that back. I try to do both critically and like what I like prefer, like favorite versus critically. Yeah. I think critically Into the Spider-Verse is the greatest Spider-Man film created before this. Yeah. I think this is. There, I think it's like the same thing, and so like if I'm like I would put Into the Spider-Verse at a 10 out of 10. I would also put this at a 10 out of 10. But I think I prefer Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay,
for like literally Into the Spider-Verse 10 out of 10, Across the Spider-Verse 9.9, like not a 9.5. Like I'm talking,
You're
and
like
I think the reason
minuscule,
being, right, and I think the reason being is Into the Spider-Verse to me is just. I mean, it's Spider-Man the way no one's ever seen him before.
Yeah.
And it's just perfectly done. And it also stands on its own really well. And this movie on its own is great, but it also is going to depend on part 3. Like, at the end of the day,
we got to figure out how they're going to wrap the trilogy.
Too. Yeah. And I think I just really, I love both of these films though. Like this is no notching. These movies are so good.
Yeah.
Across the Spider-Verse though, I think it's I'm gonna compare these to a lot of movies. Across the Spider-Verse is Infinity War. It's Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And like it's all these things where you need that next movie. You need to see what happens next, right? And I think just for that reason is why I like Into the Spider-Verse slightly more. Like if I go back, if we talk MCU solely, we still love Iron Man, the movie, right? Like, and I think that does a lot to establish the entire MCU still. And I feel that way about Into the Spider-Verse. Like you truly can't have Across the Spider-Verse without Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. No, I totally get you. I mean, yeah, it's.
But at the end of the day, I think it's preferences.
Yeah.
It's just they're both so good.
And it was they chose the perfect way. Like I think bringing Miles Morales in an animation movie was amazing because they could do all that stylistic things like, because he's very, flat, not flashy, but like I don't know, the comic. I couldn't imagine Miles Morales' first intro in a movie being live action because
he's his own character. He's his own character, and actually, I think to go off what you're trying to say is, like the video games, right? The Spider-Man video game where you're Peter Parker, it was "Be Greater" was the tagline. The Miles Morales tagline was "Be Yourself," and I think that stands exactly on how to describe Miles Morales in these movies as well. Exactly. He is his own character. He literally in this movie says, I'm gonna do it my way.
I'm gonna do Oh my god. Oh, I saw that clip like in the one breakdown video. I got chills when he was like, you know what? Nah, I'm tired of people telling me what to do. I'm gonna do it my way. And then
gushing over this movie. I think another Will comment actually. He always said he knows how much I truly feel about a movie based off of how many times I see it in theaters. And I wanted to see this the next day.
Yeah.
I kid you not. I was 5 minutes from. I had to do it. I was out doing chores, and I was 5 minutes from the theater, and I was like, I could just go back.
Yeah.
I could just go see it again. And I was totally planning on it because Valerie was gonna work Sunday night. I was like, she doesn't. I don't need to be there for her working. Like, I could go spend the afternoon watching Spider-Man again.
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
I just did it. It did end up happening. But I gotta tell you, every day I'm like, can I go see it again? Like, I am itching to go see this movie again in theaters.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm totally the same way. Like, I really want to rewatch it. I really want to experience it again, but not for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, I want to, because like now I can focus on more things in the background and focus on more little Easter egg things and that, and like, you know, like,
because that's the other thing too. I'm glad you brought it right up. Is that, you know, for us, for super nerds, right? Especially Spider-Man nerds, like there is so much happening cameo wise and Easter egg wise. But that's just this, and I think this is the thing that I've said or I've seen that I agree with the most is there is no lack of Easter eggs in this movie, but at no point is it overbearing. Like this is Miles's film. At the end of the day, it does not matter if the character from your favorite childhood show is in it or not. Yeah. But like it is still Miles. But he might, like there's so many cameos in this. It's amazing. Like I'm gonna go with a not spoiler because it was in the posters, it was in the promotion. Insomniac Spider-Man. The video game Spider-Man. We've already talked about in this podcast episode. Yeah. He has a cameo in this. And it is so well done.
And like, the same voice actor too, which is awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. And like that, like you said, like it wasn't just like there were, I think I read they created or they brought in / created a total of 280 Spider-Men for this to be on screen for this movie. And it did not feel distracting. Like, no, like when they were in like the Spider Nueva New York or whatever. I
forget if it's Nueva New York or just Nueva York, but it's
I guess
it's where the Spider headquarters are.
Yeah, where Miguel, whatever's Oscar Isaac's Spider-Man 2099. Yep. Speaking of which Oscar Isaac popping up everywhere in Marvel properties. I mean, he was Apocalypse in X-Men, Moon Knight, multiverse. Yeah. He's what else? What else is he? Well,
he's Poe in Star Wars.
No, he's Poe in Star Wars. Yeah. There was something else recently he was in, like Marvel wise. Go ahead where you were gonna say.
Well, so the other thing I was just gonna say was like that's why I'm excited to go see it again, because I loved catching cameos in the corner of my eye. I mean, there's one cameo in particular I was looking for the whole movie. And it was like I was just waiting for it to happen or whether or not it was going to happen. And as soon as it finally happened, I like refocused on the movie. And so like I want to see it again so I can just straight up look at everything around. Like truly like, oh, what are all the cameos in that corner? Because I was looking in the opposite corner during that time.
I know this is like super illegal, but I was about this close to start taking pictures of like when they were in the Spider headquarters, because I was like, I just want to sit and break down every single Spider-Man that's in it. Like,
well, dude, I gotta tell you, I don't know how or why. Hey, I'm not posting it, but people are putting on YouTube like straight up like all these cameos, and I'm like, I feel bad watching these, but at the same time, A, I already paid for it. B, I'm gonna give them more money.
Oh,
like, it's like I'm just there's so many cameos that it's like just blah 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 cameo 4K on YouTube. I'm like, okay, I'll watch this again.
I'll take a peek at that. Yeah,
I actually did. Because I confirmed one of the cameos is a new cameo of an old character, and me and my buddies were talking about it like, oh, but that didn't happen in what he's from, and it was like I think it's brand new, and I found it on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, that was a new cut of that character, which was just cool to like figure out.
What was it?
So I just
you want to just jump into spoilers?
That's what I was gonna say. Well, fully spoilers, like again. 9.9, 10 out of 10 movie. 10 out of 10 movie goes like this movie is phenomenal. It deserves best picture of the year nomination. I'm not saying it best picture. Although I got to tell you, Brendan, I don't know if we got any cinema heads out here that are gonna like unsubscribe for this. I have zero interest in Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Oh, I see. I like Christopher Nolan. I didn't see Tenet because it just looked like it'd go way
I
over my
think
head.
that's why I don't have any interest. I didn't like Tenet, and I'm sorry, Cece. I know you loved it. If you listening,
I'm excited to see Oppenheimer mainly because it's a biopic.
Yeah,
and I like Christopher Nolan's biopic movies. Like I like Dunkirk. I thought that was really good.
I still have to see that. That looked really good, and I heard good thing.
If you could catch it as a re-release in theaters, I would suggest seeing it in theaters.
Ugh.
Because it is like amazing on the big screen and like the sound and everything coming through. But
yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
I also have no interest in Barbie, which is getting a lot of hype. Like,
see again, I'm kind of excited for it. Like it looks.
I have nothing
weird,
against.
It looks
I have nothing against it. I just, but like, I have no. Oppenheimer actually. I want to see.
There's
like I'm not gonna lie to you.
People in that movie.
I know. Like the amount of like Oppenheimer almost like we knew going into Spider-Verse how many people, how much time, like all that stuff was put into this movie. Oppenheimer's the same thing. Like regardless or not if it's any good, like the effort in Oppenheimer is through the roof, and I respect the hell out of that. So like I almost want to see it just to see what happens, but I just don't actually care.
Don't have any like
Barbie, I just don't. I don't.
That'll be one. I'm not gonna see it in theaters. I'll wait till it's on like HBO Max or something.
Yeah, for sure. Like it doesn't look bad. I just don't. I'm not.
Yeah.
And Barbie. I'm Barbie. I'm the guy that I'm like, why am I on the outside of the joke? Like I feel like let me into the joke. I'm not trying to miss it. I just don't get it.
I don't understand.
But anyway, so I don't know. Like I respect the hell out of like real dramatic movies though. Like that's I just this movie.
But give these ones a chance to get a Best Picture nod. Like because this was a bit like totally like totally a Best Picture.
Absolutely. And the other thing I remember going into this the night before I was talking to Val, and I was like, I am curious like how this does against other animated films for best animation, because I was like Mario Brothers did really well. Like it was just
good movie too, really good.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it was just like really well done, especially for like a game the game that it was one of the best game adaptations ever. Like it was a very well done movie. And then you have Brendan, I don't know if you've seen anything for it, but the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out in the fall.
It looks okay.
I think it looks pretty good. And I think it looks like a bunch of kids made a movie, and like I just feel like it looks really unique and it looks just really good. And I think it looks like a lot of fun is the best way to put it.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Pixar movie?
I don't give a shit about Elemental.
Oh, the animation looks terrible.
I just don't care. And
looks
I feel
like they're
bad.
not even trying.
Yeah, I just don't. It's But like so my point was like, okay, Spider-Verse is a sequel going up against other original movies this year. Like I could see it not winning best animation. I think I was 10 minutes into this film, like
best
in the bag.
Yeah.
In the bag.
Oh,
the Gwen Stacy stuff. I like
the
watercolors.
Oh.
Like, oh my god. Just that scene alone gets best animation.
And you know what? Like if I was watching it and I was like, oh my god, the background watercolor like color changes with their mood.
Yeah.
Which I thought was such an awesome detail.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like whenever like, you know, Gwen was pissed, it'd be like a reddish orange type thing, and like her dad would come in and like it would be like a blue because he was like sad and stuff. And like, oh my god, it was just so well done. Like
the two that stood out to me the most is when she hugs him the first time and like the whole room brightens up again.
Yeah. Yep.
And then when he starts reading the Miranda rights, and then her whole world turns, it's black. It's just pitch black. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like I literally leaned over to him. I was like, best animated film. Best animated film. My God, what the fuck are we talking about here? All right. So spoilers, great movie. Honestly, nothing's gonna beat this year.
Yeah.
What else do we got, Brett? We have the Marvels.
Compared to this.
And like Guardians of the Galaxy is a great movie.
Yeah.
Quantum Mania was a good movie, but like Dude,
this
this was
just
fucking
blew
awesome.
this honestly blew everything phase 4 and 5 of Marvel out of the water.
Yeah.
Like
And part of it's
beyond
unfair. Like,
and not even like cameo wise and
nope.
Easter egg wise, just like
Nope.
story,
Just
character
a
development, like
great movie.
stakes in the movie, just like
Yep.
oh my god, just such a well done. Like Kevin Feige, take fucking notes. Like
I gotta tell you,
take
that's a
notes.
I hope he's either taking notes or if someone at Disney is. Oh, am I frozen?
I can hear you, but your video froze.
I'm like biting my lip in that
Yeah,
picture there.
it should catch up in a second. There you go. There you go. You're good.
But either Kevin Feige take notes or like if there's a hand at Disney that's overpowering him, I hope he's pointing and going, "You look what they did.
Yeah.
You look what they did. You let me go.
You
let me
hired
off my
Lord
leash."
Miller. Yeah.
And that was Lord and Miller were. I don't think they've started yet, but I'm pretty sure they were in talks to be the like Feige of Sony's universe. So
I like that.
That needs to be like done, like happening now. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I know there's a live action noir in the talks. I think it's going to be a series. Yeah.
That would be cool.
They announced at the red carpet event for this that Miles Morales as a live action character is officially in development. No word if that's MCU or
Sony
or Sony U. Like my guess is Sony has decided like full steam ahead, and now it falls in probably in Marvel's court. But are we going to cooperate?
But also, full spoilers right now.
Yeah, okay, let's spoil.
There were hints at the MCU in this movie, like plenty of MCU, like
fantastic.
They say it in the commercial, so I guess it's not spoilers, but what's his name?
Don't even get me started about Doctor Strange and that nerd from 1999.
Yeah, he's mentioning the MCU, and then one of the biggest jaw-dropping cameos, if you want to jump into that real quick.
Full spoilers. We are fully in spoilers. Go see this movie, otherwise turn this off.
Boom. Do you want to say it?
No, you go. You got it. Okay. You got it.
Donald Glover showing up as the Prowler from Prowler garb from. I'm guessing it's probably that one from Homecoming. They could be like, oh, it's another multiversal whatever bullshit. But I'm just gonna say it's the one from the MCU. It's Donald Glover from the MCU who was playing Aaron Davis in that universe.
That's something I heard a podcast talk about, which is true, and it's kind of funny, and sure they could go this way. If any of the cameos continue, which by the way, the other one I was talking about was spectacular, and I'll get into it in a second.
Okay, yep.
If any of these cameos get to continue outside of Spider-Verse, they could easily just say like, oh, that was not this, that was another alternate version of this. Like that was an alternate Donald Glover Prowler. That was an alternate Spectacular Spider. Like you could get away with just saying that because it's an infinite multiverse or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like to me, no, I agree. That was MCU Prowler. He has become Prowler, is doing Prowler shit in the background.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten there yet.
I have a feeling in the next Spider-Man movie, we could, in the next MCU Spider-Man movie, we could get, because Spider-Man's going back to sort of that, the rumor is he's friendly neighborhood. The street level, so he could be taking on, a side quest thing in the movie, taking on the Prowler or something like that, because I can't really see them having Donald Glover is a main villain. Maybe if they do a Miles Morales movie, have him be part of a team. But the Prowler just doesn't seem like a main villain type guy. I don't know much about him in the comics or anything, but
it just depends on which version of the Prowler. Prowler's actually been a couple different characters too. They could definitely do Prowler as the main villain. Like the original Miles Morales story, Prowler is no friendly uncle. He is the villain. Okay. He is a son of a bitch, and it's actually sad. It is one of the most unique things. I kind of really recommend it. The original Bendis run on the original Ultimate Spider-Man or Miles Morales Spider-Man is really good, but it was truly the point of Miles was how do you get to Spider-Man from other circumstances? And Miles has a loving home for sure.
Yeah,
but he clings to Aaron like a brother essentially. But he's just a dick to him.
Really?
and it's truly the opposite of Uncle Ben. Like Uncle Ben is the loving
I love it.
older
Yeah.
role model, and Aaron Davis was just an absolute asshole to Miles in the
Oh, wow.
original comic. That completely got altered because Spider-Verse came out and they made it like in a
Family
way that
friendly.
is
Yeah.
better, you know.
Yeah.
All that aside, can you do him as a villain? Absolutely. Will they? No, because of Spider-Verse. Like
Yeah.
he can't be a villain because of Spider-Verse. Like he's officially an anti-hero, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say so just to get the spectacular stuff out of the way, fucking spectacular Spider-Man. Josh Keaton returned to voice him.
Was that
great.
Was that the animated Spider-Man that like has like a small little part when they're doing like the intervention thing?
Around,
okay,
yeah. He's like a little like he's like a little bubbly looking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he's the guy that goes, Miles, it's tough on all of us or something like that. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But so that was him. Like that was him 100%. It's like, hell yeah, that's him. But the thing I was talking about being questionable was when they're going through, and we're gonna go into all of this, but when they're going through the captains and it stops on a Peter that's like crying over a body and goes, Captain Stacy, and he like kind of huddles up to it.
Oh, yeah.
That's also Spectacular Spider-Man, but that's not from the show.
That's really that's something.
No. So like that's what I was like, guys, they did a new scene in Spectacular. Like,
wow.
So
they
of course
did wow. Huh.
That's the Spectacular season 3 hype train right now. Is like, can they get it going? Can we get that unreleased season 3?
Was that a Disney XD show?
So Spectacular was a Sony. It was the last. So Sony had all rights to Spider-Man, including television. And Spectacular was a Sony made cartoon, and Disney bought the rights back from Sony for cartoons when season 2 ended, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and Disney canceled it.
What was it? What was it on?
So it did air on Disney XD. I forget what it originally aired on though. Like it aired on something else, probably Cartoon Network, but I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, Disney didn't want to pay Sony the rights to use Spectacular, so they rebooted it. No one likes any of the reboots they've done since then.
That's a fuck you, Disney.
That's absolutely, and that's this was their and that was one of the reasons I was like, I thought he had to be in this because it's Sony using Sony properties. It's not even like they didn't need Disney's permission to put him in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
The problem is Disney still has the animation rights for television, so probably not going to get that season 3. But I will drive that hype train to the
You
moon.
never know. You never know.
But yeah, so that's what like even though I was sitting there waiting for a Spectacular cameo or hoping for a cameo, like never did that like overtake a scene for me. Like
no,
everything else was, oh my god, I can't wait, dude. I don't know if there's any other Miles. There's so much to talk about. Spider-Punk fucking rules.
Oh my
man.
god,
that's what I'm trying to get to.
Oh, what the thing that was like blew my mind in this movie was how many different animation styles were going on the screen all at once, like and especially Spider-Punk, because that looked super difficult to animate.
I know.
Like I don't know that much about animation, but like he was going at different frame rate than everybody else. It basically looked like a walking newspaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like a walking poster. Like. Oh god, he's so cool.
He has that look of oh my god, dude, it was so well done. It was the look of like the punk rock, like pieced together, like collage art kind of thing in motion. Oh my god. And I don't know what excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't know what is or isn't true, but like I saw that just his animations took like over a year. Like,
oh, I could imagine.
Like, the team that worked on it took over a year. And they like
so well done.
His guitar is at one frame rate, his body is at another frame.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. I'm not trying to make this the hate on anyone train, but like this movie was 5 years removed from the first movie, and it got delayed, I think 2 years or 1 year or something like that. When you give the team the full amount of time they need, you get a good movie.
You get the good animation you paid for. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, it was so good. And yes, but I loved Spider-Punk so much. I thought he was exactly what I had hoped. Dude, I still have his like monologue stuck in my head. Like, what am I going to tell you? My secret identity of this?
Oh yeah.
I hate the AM. I hate the PM.
Yeah. And Daniel Kaluuya, perfect, or
He killed it.
yeah, Kaluuya, something like that. The guy from Get Out, um, such a great voice actor for that, and I'm glad that he could use his actual voice because he's like truly British,
Very British, very British.
and I don't know if that's like his actual accent. Maybe he had like a Manchester effect or affect or whatever. But yeah, I mean, amazing voice acting done by him. Also the Indian
Pavatar.
Pavatar.
Oh, I think that's his last name. Sorry. Oh no,
like,
Pavatar. Pavatar Prabhakar. I'm looking at it. That's can't be right.
Amazing.
Prabhakar. Spider-Man India.
Also amazing. He's the guy from he's Dopender from Deadpool.
Yep. Yeah, he did great. I have so for good. Him, the thing stuck in my head is chai tea. That's like saying tea or chai. Like that whole thing is stuck in my head. And the whole time Miles just like sinking into his like suit, like or the scarf or whatever was around it. Like he's like, I'm so sorry. And then even that, like that took me for I had to, Valerie was like, you idiot. I was like, that's even funnier after the fact because Miles made fun of Spot. We haven't even talked about Spot. But Miles makes fun of Spot for the ATM machine comment. Yeah. And then it gets flipped, and Miles is getting made fun of for chai tea now. Like it's this movie has so many little jokes like that just land so well.
It just and
I didn't even notice the joke until after. Like I thought I thought that whole thing was funny, and then like afterwards I'm like, oh wait, it's even funnier because
he did the ATM. Yeah. So you want to talk about real quick? Do you want to talk about Spot real quick?
Sure. We do. We talk about whatever we want. I'll keep going. It's just like that's the thing is I don't think I'm gonna stop easily on this.
I had no idea who Spot was or anything like that. Such a great character.
So I have a little Spot knowledge from my comic book days for Spider-Man. Very much his powers are what we see at the start of the movie. Like he throws spots up, he's able to jump through them. And then he actually, the part about him having his own dimension is also something I knew from the comics. Like he can essentially jump out of our dimension into a pocket dimension. Whether or not he could go multiverse, I don't think in the comics is a thing, but like that was just cooler for me to see that happen. The thing I liked about Spot was that very similar to actually Into the Spider-Verse. I think one of the best parts about Into the Spider-Verse is that they used Kingpin as the main villain. Yeah. A Spider-Man villain, not Daredevil, you sons of bitches, but a Spider-Man villain that like has never been in a Spider-Man movie. So it was like, well, they used a villain you knew from another property, but this was not used for a Spider-Man movie. So it was original in that sense. I loved Spot being used as the villain for this because it was a unique villain that we haven't seen before and is not uniquely Miles' thing before, but sure as hell is now. Like it was just all new to me. It was very cool having that experience, and I loved every second. He was awesome, and the guy
Jason Schwartzman,
the guy who killed it.
Amazing.
So I also know him voice wise. He does the Mailman in Klaus, which is one of my favorite Christmas movies in this decade. If no one's seen it, I highly recommend. But he's just a goofy guy when he does voice work like that, and that's what Spot at the start of this movie is, just a goofy guy, and he does a great job being that goofball. But Schwartzman just that's the thing. Schwartzman is proof that voice acting is really good when it comes to good acting. Like voice acting matters because Schwartzman is able to turn the goofiest villain you've ever seen, the villain of the week, as Miles calls it, into the scariest motherfucker you've ever seen on screen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He be like you said, like he's villain of the week, just kind of like a goofball, like, hey, just trying to get some money. Hurt my hand. I don't know what I'm doing. And then like at the end, you're like, holy shit, like he could seriously end everything. Like,
he is so, the big thing is he goes into Spider-Man India's universe and he finds a collider that he uses to essentially power up, and it reverses his colors, and he's gone to become a black with white polka dotted man, and it is the his animation completely changes that he
Yeah.
looks like a shadow.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if this was in New Rockstars or something else. He looks exactly like Miles's sketch from the alley at the end of the movie, which is terrifying to
Oh.
see. If you haven't seen it, look it up, Brendan. I'll send you a picture afterwards.
Yeah.
But like even like the final shot of Spot, like as he's like walking towards the camera in whatever scene that is,
Yeah.
he's like this, like the arms like one's higher than the other, which is very much the sketch in the alley for that Miles made. The
Oh wow.
the expectation sketch. Yeah. And it's one of those things that this is something I really want to
Oh,
talk
I know what you're
about.
talking about. Okay, yeah.
It's very much how if I could interview Lord Miller, my question would be, how much of this trilogy did you have pre-planned?
Mm-hmm.
Because another thing from the original that I have never really thought about, in Into the Spider-Verse, the spider that bites Miles glitches during that movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
which
Yeah,
implies it's from another
it's
universe.
from the universe. Yeah,
And I have never thought about that.
but
I
yeah,
think I've always thought that was just an animated like sequence to show, hey, this is a special
this
spider.
is,
Like,
yeah,
it
exactly.
probably has
It's
radioactive
radioactive.
abilities,
Yeah,
something
exactly.
like
Yeah.
that. But like looking
Wow.
back now, like that spider was probably always from another universe, and I'm just an idiot, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. But like
rewatching the first one, 42 is everywhere in that movie. Is everywhere,
mhm.
and I always just thought it was like I thought maybe it looks like a comic book number that was based on the Spider-Man comic, or they hit the Miles Morales, or whatever. But
if I remember correctly, and I think I got this, but I'm pretty sure in the original Miles origin story, the spider has a 42 on it.
Okay.
So like that was why they used the number 42 in Into the Spider-Verse, because it was like a callback to that, but like they made it like you're saying, like it is clearly like Miles's number, so to speak.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like when he falls Into the Spider-Verse, the 42 surrounds him.
Yep.
Like from
his
the sign.
jersey number is 42 in this movie.
The Brooklyn
yep.
jersey. Yep. It's 42 is for sure like cemented his thing now.
Yeah.
But like, I just want to know, that's my question, is how much was pre-planned? I gotta assume yes, the spider was always from another universe, which also makes sense because he already had Peter Parker in this universe. It's crazy, like going into that thought process.
Yeah. Also, one thing that I wonder if they had this planned is that Spot was the guy that got hit in the head with the bagel in the first one. Like, I really wonder if they had that planned out, or if that was just like, oh, let's use the guy that got hit with the bagel.
Right.
As the, like
that's like I would. So yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about though, because like some things I'm like, oh, they probably had that plan, and other things I'm like, oh, how can we make this creative, right? Like, was Spot always going to be the villain? And if that's the case, were they always going to use him to mirror Miles, like something like that? Like, I don't know, man. It's really creative what they did here, and God, Spot was such a cool. So like it getting to the point at the end of the movie when Miles is giving his speech to his believed mother, and he said, and he reveals to her that I'm Spider-Man. But in that speech, he says, I have to take on my nemesis Spot. Like that's at that point, I that was an oh shit moment for me. Like he has fully realized he has fully come to terms with how serious this is. How serious Spot is. Like this is a whole nother thing he has to deal with.
He's like his Green Goblin now. You know what I mean? Like that's his or his Venom.
His it's really well done, and it's really cool. So the spider being from another universe, and that universe doesn't have a Spider-Man at all. That's what we find out at the end of the movie.
Terrifying.
And I know we're jumping around here, but I feel like this is kind of natural to talk about next. But like, you see like just a decimated New York,
dude. When he goes into the thing,
Go
whatever
Home machine.
the Go Home machine. When he then scans his eye or whatever it scans, and it says Earth 42, I was like, nope, that's not his Earth. That's not his. I knew it from the first because
I was gonna ask, when did you know?
I knew it from the second they scanned it. It said because when Miguel was talking to him in 15 minutes before that or whatever, before the big chase, and he's like, hey, the big thing was that spider wasn't from his universe, wasn't from Miles's universe. It was meant for the Miles on Universe 42, and then the Spot, like the whatever his real name, Jonathan O, I think is the Spot's name. pretty much grabbed that spider from that universe and brought it to, aren't they like Earth 1610 or something like that? Isn't that
Correct, because it's the 616 reverse.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They brought that over to this Miles's universe. And then when he was like, "Oh, this machine works by scanning your spider DNA and it sends you back to that universe." And I was like, that's gonna come back into play. And
See,
yeah.
I didn't think about. So I will say, I remember, because it's a flash and you miss it kind of thing.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Earth 42 on that screen,
Mhm.
and I didn't think anything of it. I absolutely did not. So you beat me there. He gets transported into the universe. The moment I figured it out was actually when he's in the room getting he's like scrambling to put the clothes on.
Yeah.
So like it's late, like, but we haven't quite been given the thing. The reason I noticed was the Nikes. He puts on his Jordans that is in the room, and they're different. I don't like, if you did, for anyone that hasn't noticed and you're gonna rewatch it, take a look. The only reason I know this is because I bought the Jordans from this movie, and it's actually the Jordans I have are Earth 42's Jordans.
Oh shit.
And it's red with like, actually, when Aaron Davis punches the punching bag and the splotch,
the spot,
bubble, that's all over the side of these shoes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I saw that and I was like, holy shit, they're not his shoes. Like, we know what his shoes look like. They're not his shoes. And then needless to say, between Gwen, all the other people hunting him down, like you put it together. He's not home.
Also, by the way, when just a quick side note, when Aaron Davis punches the punching bag and like that splotch of paint, I was like,
dead.
I was like, did he just blow Miles's brains out? Like,
I thought he was
I was like, yeah, that's what I thought for a second too. I was like, holy crap, that's very violent. But
which I actually, on that note, I will say, not a kids movie in my opinion.
No, which we took Ollie to see this. We took Ollie and Kayla's nephew to see this. So I was like, oh, it's a Spider-Man animated movie. And because he watched the first one, he liked it.
The first one's definitely a family film.
Yeah, but he was kind of getting restless during the movie, and I was like, I guess I kind of understand, because he, there's a lot going on, multiverses and this and that and the other thing, and he didn't understand why there were so many Spider-Man and stuff like that, and I was like, well, there's a thing called the multiverse, and no.
Let me sit you down with this spaghetti
to show you
physics. The spaghetti is the multiverse, and it all spreads like threads. No, I actually, but to your point, like that was actually the reason I don't think this is a kids film, not because it's not like, I think enough of the violence is done in a way that it works for the family. I to your point think it's a mental, like, adult oriented film. Like,
the script is
think about it.
The script is for adults. Like the visuals and everything kids can enjoy, because it's colorful, it's bright,
Spider-Man.
There's a lot of stuff going. Yeah, exactly. There's a shit ton of Spider-Man running around. They're having a good time. But yeah, like the story is definitely more set to people our age, young adult.
I mean, you just made the joke and it was perfect. Like, you're gonna sit down and talk to Ollie about the multiverse, like, like No Way Home, joke about it or not, but like, it's easy enough to be like, oh, they just found themselves, the three Spider-Man together. But like in this one, you're like, oh, well, I gotta explain why there's a Spider-Man car now, and there's a horse with a mask
and
on,
a freaking T-Rex one. Yeah,
I loved all of them.
Oh my god. Oh,
Miles shows up. Earth 42 Miles shows up as a Prowler. I just kind of fished that scene out.
Yeah.
Do you think he's evil?
Like Earth 42, like the Prowler?
Do you think he's a bad Prowler? Is essentially the big thing now. I think it was New Rockstar's video that put this in my head, because they point out that when they show the Spot's like origin story, and he's taking the Earth 42 spider, the spider is on its way to bite
Miles,
not Peter. So Miles was supposed to be the Spider-Man of this universe. And that's the crazy thing, is like, okay, so is this Miles evil now because he didn't become Spider-Man, or is he a good version of Prowler? Very, very different. Very like, I'm very interested in what happens there.
I guess I was just under the understand. I mean, I did see that, but I was just under the thinking that he was just. I guess he wouldn't have known that he was supposed to be Spider-Man.
No,
But I just kind of think since that didn't happen, he kind of just fell under his Uncle Aaron's wing, and
Yeah,
then they kind of just
that's what
didn't start. And especially since his dad's gone, I
right.
feel like he's probably down a road of
I
crime. But
I think the implication there isn't that he's a good prowler. I think the implication is that there's good in him.
yeah,
It's almost like Darth Vader,
kind of like anti-hero type thing.
like
Yeah.
there's good in him, and like and I think I was texting friends about this, and the big thing about the next movie for me is that now that Miles 1610 Miles knows that he wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man and he took Spider-Man from this world 42.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think Miles is going to feel the responsibility to help this world.
Yeah. I think
And
he's going to like train almost try to like turn
yes.
42 Miles and be his Peter Parker, or be his yeah.
I think he's going to try and bring the good out of Earth 42 Miles. And so I don't think he's a good prowler now, but I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the movie he's a good prowler.
Good prowler. Yeah, yeah.
Which would be cool.
That would be
awesome. I do have a theory about the next movie, and it's kind of extremely out there. Extremely out there, but
nothing wrong with that.
I kind of want to throw it out. I don't know if we want to keep talking about this movie, if we go back to it, or just bring it up now. But I did want to point out.
Yeah, if you got theory on the mind,
I don't think 2099 Spider-Man is Miguel O'Hara. I think he is a imposter. And I'm going comic book lore reasons. So if you want completely, Brendan, I can actually ask you, do you not want to hear my theory here?
I want to hear it. I'm intrigued now.
I think he is a multiversal vampire.
Ooh.
And the reason being is the shot we get of him when he's fighting Vulture and he gets the vampire fangs pop out.
Yeah.
And he's going to bite Vulture and then he doesn't because of the helicopter and all that. And then, Gwen says, oh, he's also got like a vampire thing going on. And that never comes to anything.
Yeah. That never addressed. Yeah.
That never blooms to fruition. And I was like, okay, well, that's just a weird, like, and to be fair, in the comics, I think 2099 does have like venomous, like spider venom, like just how like Miles has his own thing. Like, I think Miguel O'Hara does have like fang venom.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But between being called a vampire, not really anything coming of it, and then the thing that made me go, I'm officially sticking with this. I will die on this hill until we see part 3. Was in the fight between Miguel and Miles. And Miles he's what, you got claws now? What are you even a Spider-Man, bro? Like, he said that, and I was like, why are they pointing out he's not a Spider-Man? Yeah. Why are they pointing that out?
Like, I could totally see it, and that's why he's so hell-bent on, like,
yes.
Yeah.
And so I think he is, if they're gonna go comic accuracy, there's this multiversal vampire called Morlun. And he's never been in a movie, obviously, because he's absolutely absurd. Why would it be?
Yeah,
and
I mean, they brought Spot in. That's a very absurd villain. I wouldn't put it past him.
He's a multiversal vampire that feeds on spiders across the multiverse, and he is the main villain of the original comic book Spider-Verse. And I never in a million years would have thought that would be in a movie, except 2099 has fangs. He's called a vampire. He's called not Spider-Man. He's getting all these Spider-Mans in one place together. Follow him.
Exactly.
He's putting a little buffet together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the writer of the original book is a lead producer and informant on these movies, the last two movies. I fully think 2090 because I also think that almost redeems him by not being Spider-Man.
Yeah,
because he's borderline evil in this. Movie.
Yeah.
And it's like
he's people. I heard people saying like, "Oh, he's an anti-hero." I'm like, I don't really think so.
He's more of a Punisher, which I guess technically is an anti-hero. He is an anti, but like he's truly like, I'll kill whatever.
I'll do whatever I have to do. He's like Peacemaker, like I'll kill every man. I'll kill any woman, and child to protect the peace. Like,
what are you gonna skate across the Erica's north or south and east and west to find a goddamn cure? I don't know why that jumped to my head. But I just it's my outlandish theory, and it's like if I'm going outlandish for this, that's it. That's my
Yeah, no,
go big or go home.
I like that theory. I mean,
It
following like because they seem to be. I mean, I've never read or
mhm.
seen much about the Spider-Verse comics, but it sounds like even the team that Gwen built isn't that the team that she has in the Spider-Verse comics, like Spider-Man Noir,
the team
Spider-Pig, like
the team she has at the end of this movie, which is badass and awesome, by the way.
yeah,
Is pretty much the prime Spider team in the Spider-Verse comics. Yeah.
okay, so yeah,
Like
I mean
you have
they're
Peter Parker, you have Noir, you have Spider-Punk, you have Ham, Penny, like that. It is the prime original Spider-Verse team. And the other thing that I think kind of would make sense is Moreland is not a known Spider-Man villain. Like again, just like Spot. Like
yeah,
it would be this is
be a
a
good twist.
Spider-Man villain that we can make Miles's villain now.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I mean, the
I
next
don't know.
movie setting up, it's gonna be the like a Spider-Man Civil War, basically. Like, it's gonna be
Yeah.
Miguel's Spider-Verse versus Gwen's, renegade team. So,
Yeah.
and whoever else she, pulls together. But yeah, no,
And
I'm super pumped.
he even admits that like Miguel of the world he was on died, and like he
Yeah,
tries to explain like that's the anomaly and he can't let that happen. But I'm like, what if this bro is just like, yo, that's the guy I killed. Like
yeah,
I'm being him. Like
yeah. That's yeah.
I don't know.
It
It's
could
crazy.
that could be a yeah. I mean,
If it happens though, I'm
I I
pretty
don't think
juiced.
it's as crazy of a theory as you think it is. Because I mean, if they're basing this a lot on, I mean, if they're basing it, I mean, they are basing it on the Spider-Verse comics, and like you
Right.
said, like the one of the main producers was the writer of Spider-Verse. Then I could totally see him being like, "Yo, let's throw this in. It'll confuse, not confuse people. It'll throw people off the scent. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm. I also, but I will say, like, even if it doesn't happen, I'll be perfectly fine because I
yeah,
know it's going to be a great movie.
oh yeah,
I did really enjoy Miguel O'Hara's character,
yeah.
like even just being the anti-hero villain
I
he is,
love
like,
the
it's a
like
real
the
cool
almost
character.
his like web slinging almost looked like Dark Side's like from DC, like his like Omega beams or whatever they're called. Like
Yeah,
it was awesome. Like
it's
that
real.
was really cool.
There's a lot of cool things about like so even the first shot we get of him, I don't think he has it the rest of the movie, but he has the like cape, which is
Yeah,
very much like it's like Peter's web pits. It
yeah.
has no function, but when you see
It
that
just
shit,
looks awesome.
you're like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, nerds.
Um. Also, Spider Jessica whatever Jessica Drew awesome.
Yes.
And it's Spider Woman. Is she Spider Woman? Right.
Yep. Spider-Woman. Yep.
Awesome in this movie.
Very cool.
Um. Who else was on the team? Like
Scar
his
Ben Riley, Scarlet Spider.
oh yeah, yeah, Andy Sam. It was voiced by Andy
I had
Samberg.
no idea that was him until afterwards.
The whole time I was like, who is this? Who is this? And then he said something. I was like, oh my god, that's Andy Samberg. I was like,
That's what
the
it's
way he
actually
said something, I was like, oh my
yeah.
god.
That's one of the reasons I want to see it again is because like the whole time I'm like, I'm like, this dude is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
Also,
but I never put it together.
backstory on Ben Riley Scarlet Spider. Is he a clone of Peter
He is a
Parker,
clone
right?
of Peter Parker. Yeah, that's
Okay.
why. So you see a shot of him unmasked when Miles is like first walking through the facility,
Yeah.
and he's got like the blonde hair.
Yep.
In the comics, he is Peter Parker with brunette hair, but he dyes it blonde because he's like, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna dye black and get pierced, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be different. So
Yeah.
that's why he dyes it blonde. Although we've seen a blonde Peter Parker, in Miles' universe. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. So that was him,
Which
and that's what his backstory is. He's a clone. He takes on Ben Riley was Uncle Ben's full name, Benjamin Riley.
oh, okay.
Because May was the Parker. May or no, sorry, whoops, whoops. Uncle Ben is Ben Parker. May's
Her
surname is Riley.
Okay.
So it's he took Ben's name and then used Aunt May's old name.
Also, one thing. Miles. So the one thing I always got confused on is
I just read about this today. I'm ready.
Miles is so Aaron Davis.
Yep.
His last name's Davis.
Yep.
But isn't that Miles' dad's brother.
Yes,
So
and his dad is Jefferson Davis.
okay, so
His mom is Rio Morales.
Morales. So he just took her last name.
So they haven't explained it in the movie, and I honestly don't think they will.
Okay.
In the comics, it's like a 1-page story in something. I don't even remember what issue, but it's just this very quick, like, Jefferson, his dad, explains to him why they decided to give him his mother's name instead of his name. And it's essentially his dad didn't live a good life, and he was ashamed of his family and his past, and they were like, so we wanted to give you a fresh start, and
Oh,
we wanted to give you your mother's name.
oh, okay.
That was yeah.
I
It's
I
kind of
think
a very sweet, like,
I think they missed that in the movie though, because in the movie
they don't
his
explain it at all in
badge
the
name is
movie.
Morales though. Like in the movie, the dad's badge name says Morales.
Really?
Yeah, which I was confused about because I was
Huh.
like, well, I was like, did he take the wife's last name? Like maybe I don't know. I don't know.
It might
But
have. That might, but no, they
progressive.
call him Jefferson Davis, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, which I was
So
confused.
that might just be, oh, this guy.
Maybe
Better
they
call him Chris
yeah.
Lord and Miller and be like, hey,
Hey,
bitch.
you fucked up.
I said
I mean, I could be. I said,
bitch.
I could be wrong, but I'm 99% sure his badge said Morales.
Leave us a comment and tell us, no, it says Davis.
Yeah,
That's all you gotta do.
that's
I'll
all
be
you
like,
gotta
"Yeah,
do.
you're right.
I'm not even gonna check if you watched it. Um,
Yeah.
quick thing. As far as cameo wise in the Spider
Let's do it.
whatever it's called, Spider Town.
Oh, so by the way, that is the Spider HQ is, again, it's either Nueva New York or just Nueva York, and that is 2099's New York. Like, that is
Okay,
like, they're not in some like in between pocket dimension. They're just in
that they're in
99's.
his. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just okay. Gotcha. Um,
Fun
um,
facts.
fun. Hey. Um, we get both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in this movie,
Let's
which
go.
also, in a way, connects it to the MCU because they are now canon in the MCU.
Yup.
And also, real quick before that also kind of connects this to. I like the that they brought up canon events. Like each
Yes. Yeah, we haven't
Spider-Man,
really talked about the meat and potatoes of this.
each Spider-Man has a canon event. Like the death of Uncle Ben is a canon event. The death of Captain Stacy in some of them is a canon event, and like the Captain Sing in the Mumbattan, like provides a what.
Did you look up Mumbattan, or did you remember that?
No, I remember that
very.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you.
That was like a canon event that they stopped, which
Yep.
then
That's the whole thing of why Miles is wanted, essentially, because he's an anomaly creating anomalies. Like,
yeah, which I also kind of like.
He's
how
the one that's like, I said, bitch.
Yeah, I kind of like how that connects to how, like, in What If there were Nexus events, and like it's something that has to happen. It cannot, if it does not happen, reality collapses.
It's the same thing with a different name.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is exactly like the idea of these universes having numbers and everyone giving them different numbers. Like the MCU calling itself the 616, but this universe is calling
it
the MCU
199999.
and it's like, yeah, that totally makes sense, because like it's like, it's funny, real life thing that makes me laugh. It's like us mapping stars and giving them names. Yeah. And like, if there's life somewhere else, they're naming that shit their own thing.
Like, it's like Planet Gleeglorp, and we're calling it,
and we're calling it Planet 1999. Like,
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
But that's it. So that's I also like, that's really stupid nerd shit that I love. Yeah. What if they're calling it Nexus Events? In Spider-Verse, they're calling it Canon Events. Like, it's the same thing.
Like, the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, "Oh my god, this is exactly like What If," and like they talked about it in like Multiverse of Madness too. Like, I'm pretty sure they did. Because
the evil Doctor Strange who gives into the thing.
Oh yeah,
his reality collapses because of that stuff.
Yeah,
none of those words are in my head though.
Yeah. But no, I loved all that, but like I liked how that's why I was talking about that, because they showed Andrew Garfield's Uncle Ben dying, and then Tobey Maguire's Uncle Ben dying, which was there, and like you said, the Spectacular Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy or Captain
The Captain
Stacy
Stacy.
dying, or I guess not Peter Parker's Uncle Ben. They were showing Peter Parker and or Andrew Garfield, Peter Parker, and Captain Stacy.
And then they showed Toby and
Toby
Uncle
and
Ben.
his Uncle Ben. Yeah. But no, I just love, because that also sort of connects to the MCU too, because they exist in the MCU now too.
Yeah.
So like it's just all sort of coming together. And we also get a Venom cameo. We get the cameo from the shopkeeper lady, which
clerk.
I enjoyed.
I thought it was funny.
Glad we didn't get a Morbius cameo. But,
I know, dude. I know that would have been like, although it would have been funny.
It would have been funny, but it would have been like,
this would have been
Morbius?
funny if Morbius showed up and he was like, "Do you want to join my league?" And he's just like, "No," and then he left. Like, that would have been pretty.
That would have been good. That would have been really good.
Just fully making fun of Morbius.
Almost like do it how they did the X-Men in Deadpool, like make it just a real quick cameo thing.
Yeah.
Like,
we're gonna cast Brad Pitt, and he's invisible and doesn't speak.
Yeah. Like I love how I would love if like he popped in and like they didn't even ask for him to join the universe. He just popped in and saw like the back of Jared Leto's head, and he's like, "Ooh, wrong universe, sorry." Like popped out like,
and it's just like,
no, like he pops in when like the bad guy was dancing or something. Like, remember more when like whatever the guy's name, I forget, his friend
the
is
Doctor
like,
Who guy.
Yeah. He's like, "Ooh, sorry, wrong universe."
No, better. He pops in during the dancing scene, and he's like, "I mean, no, but
I mean, I like what you got going here, man." Like,
but still no. And then
yeah, that would be great.
No, I appreciate that. That was awesome. That was a funny, especially like, I forget her name, but like the clerk just like just be like, this is a Tuesday for me. Like, what do you want? Like, just get out of here. He's like, I'm robbing you. She's like, fine.
And the gum he grabs, I know in the breakdown it's Venomint or something like that.
Venomint.
And I was like, yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
That was I felt like that was the nail. That was the on the nose. I was like, all right. It's like Sony like did that joke alone, and they were like, you can have Venom.
You can have, yeah.
But I did enjoy the scene as a whole. I thought it was really funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of other when Miles is trying to escape all the Spider-Men chasing him, and he goes through like that training room. And like all like the Sinister Six, like things keep popping up. You hear in the background, Tobey Maguire's Otto Octavius go, hello, Peter. You hear his voice go like, hi, Peter, or like the from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that's cool. I forget if it was Rockstars or something else. I very specifically did not catch anything. I remember that chase scene, like that specific when he was running through the room. I remember seeing the Sinister Six members and being like, I bet these are cameos in themselves, and I don't even like. I'm not thinking straight now. Like
they were from like the '60s cartoon or something like that.
That's what I was pretty sure. I saw that they were from the '60s or '90s cartoon afterwards. I think I read that I didn't see him or hear him, but I think Mysterio has a cameo. Like,
really? Oh.
Like Gyllenhaal's Mysterio, because I know there's there's a weird Mysterio cameo. Yeah, that one. But no, I think Gyllenhaal has a cameo in this somewhere. I missed it.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either. But that's again, cool.
There's a lot.
I'm trying to think of, were there any other like big cameo like Donald Glover?
That's what there's I mean,
type. Like, I feel like there was one more, but I forget.
I'll tell you, like there. Every Spider-Man in this is a Spider-Man. Like, hell, I was looking at this last time we talked. Amazing Bagman behind you has a cameo in this movie.
Yeah.
Like there's every Spider-Man in this is a costume or something from at least a comic, if not a show. Like, you've got the '60s Spider-Man swings at Miles and misses because he's like old-fashioned slow. The one that we missed is pretty shameful of us. J.K. Simmons is
Oh yeah,
J. Jonah Jameson in multiple scenes.
yeah,
and they're completely new.
Yeah, yeah. He was the J. Jonah Jameson in the Lego Spider-Man universe, which was funny.
You constantly hear him in the background, like
Yeah.
he's in the background of Gwen's universe. I forget,
Yep.
like at the start of the movie, you hear like the manhunt for Spider-Woman continues.
Yeah.
In Earth 42, you hear he says like the Sinister Six cartel is
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Like he's
He's
basically a character, but we never see him except for Lego Jonah, I think.
Yeah. And I think it was New Rockstars or Screen Crush, one of them. They're like, I'm pretty sure J.K. Simmons is just like a Nexus being, like his J. Jonah Jameson is the definitive J. Jonah Jameson in all of the universes. Like,
yeah,
like
he is for sure. Like to me, this established, even though we never saw or heard him, like if we were to ever go back to the Amazing Spider-Man universe, like
it would be
J.K. Simmons.
It'd be J.K. Simmons. Yeah,
like that was. I mean,
he is like the definitive voice for. He's the perfect J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. I mean, he voiced him in. It's not one of the. Again, this is one of the more recent cartoons, but in Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon, he voiced.
He voiced him.
He voiced him in a cartoon Spider-Man for children that no one even liked.
Yeah. Is that the one with Drake Bell?
Yeah, that's the one with Drake Bell. That's the one that they canceled Spectacular for that.
For that,
I'm not bitter. It's fine. My 30-year-old man, not better about Spider-Man.
But dude, I quote J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson all the time. I think it's the second Spider-Man when he's looking through Peter's pictures and he's like crap, mega crap. I always do that like when I'm looking through stuff on Netflix. I'm like crap, mega crap.
What do you thought? Pigeons in the park?
Yeah.
Couple of geezers playing chess. No, he's great, dude. And that's what like that is. I don't know. I think that is the main cameo we were missing in our group.
J. Jonah,
like that's we are. I mean, I'll just say it again. Insomniac has a good one, and that's the detail of that is like they're like, oh, there's even video games Spider-Man. It looks like a Minecraft one, I think. But then Insomniac is like behind him. He's like, are you talking about me?
Is this me? Yeah.
That's he's good, and then he actually shows up a lot in the movie, like that character. But that's his only speaking.
He's like line. Yeah.
Oh man, what? Trying to think. So we had the medieval vulture at the start in Gwen's universe. We got Spider-Gwen. That was really cool. Lizard in Gwen's universe, by the way. That design for Peter Lizard.
Oh, the Peter Parker. Yeah.
Very cool lizard design.
Also, the voice of that Peter Parker was Jack Quaid.
Who is that?
Huey from The Boys. If you've watched The Boys.
That's it.
The guy, like the main kid from not kid.
Yeah, he's the
younger guy,
skinny, scrawny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the voice of.
I knew him from something. I know he's Dennis Quaid's son.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember what he was in that I knew.
He was also in the newer, not the newest, but the second newest Scream. He was in that.
Really? I still haven't seen the last one. I love the Scream series.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the last one, so that's me. What? I feel like there's another. I don't know, man. I will say if we can talk about first of all, I'm going to say to you, like, are we cool to keep talking a little bit more?
I'm good.
Like,
all right.
So I think the last two, like Spider-Man, like so we really didn't even talk about Peter B. Parker with his daughter. You know that's another one. Like again, that's just it was a great return. You know, he's a great character. It's fun. They keep making the jokes about him being a bad teacher, which is goofy fun. And you can tell when he finally gets to talk to Miles one-on-one, he's having a little bit of doubt with everything that's going on. And I don't know. I believe that he wasn't trying to track Miles and get them to come when he's like, oh, I didn't know the wristwatch had a tracking feature and all that. Like I really think he was just trying to have a one-on-one with Miles. Like, it's interesting. Like Peter is going to need a redemption though in part 3. Like, him and Gwen both need redemptions for screwing Miles.
Yeah. I mean, they knew he wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man, and they all just kind of like, I mean,
they knew everything, and they didn't tell him. Like the shame. It's an awesome moment for when Miles realizes so they're on the train fighting, and it's him versus Miguel, and Peter and Gwen are like trying to get to them.
Yeah,
and when he realizes they knew, and they like have this shameful look, you realize from that moment, Miles is officially done.
Yeah.
Like
he's like, I don't trust.
He was trying to get
anyone.
away.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't need Peter. He doesn't need Gwen. I think that's the thing is that's the moment he's like, I don't need Gwen,
Yeah.
and I'm out of here. Like, and it's a pretty great like the shot of him standing on the train holding it by the web, like, and it's just he's fully serious for the first time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty like revealing like moment.
Yeah. And great acting by I think his name's Shamik Moore, the guy who voices Miles.
Correct.
Great actor. He's in a show called The Get Down. It's really good. But
and then so the last thing I was just gonna gush a little bit more about not Scarlet Spider, just another one. Spider Punk. One of the things I realized afterwards, which Rockstar's talked about, but like I was sitting there thinking at home, like I'm just again thinking about every aspect of the movie, and I remembered the scene where Miles and Hobie are talking, and Hobie rips something off the wall. He's like, "Hey, what does it do? Probably nothing." He pockets it.
Yeah.
And like I'm sitting on my couch hours later, and I'm like,
"Oh, I think your mic disconnected."
I muted it in my excitement. Oh. Like hours later, and I'm like, this son of a bitch was making his own watch the whole time.
Yeah.
Like
that completely went over my head. I was just like, oh, he's just picking shit off the wall or whatever. Yeah.
It's just more like I think this is great. I guess I was excited and then I was like, I don't know what else to really talk about, but like I think it's a great like full circle thing to say how it just goes into how much was thought into this movie.
Yeah.
Like a background moment of him pickpocketing random shit off the table, and then at the end, oh, he was able to make his own dimensional watch.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just well done.
I really like, because going into this movie, I thought Spider-Punk was gonna be like the typical like guy that Miles. I mean, like I know Miles was like jealous of him because Gwen liked him or whatever.
Right.
Was friendly with him and stuff like that, and Miles was jealous and whatever. But I thought it was gonna be the typical like he was like the douchey guy that was like, oh, me and Gwen, you know what I mean, like that typical trope. But I'm glad he like wanted to help Miles because he was like,
oh yeah,
he was like, fuck authority, fuck, like blah 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 blah. Like I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah, hate the PM.
Yeah, hate the yeah. Like I was like it was such a good character. I love when he was like when they all start chasing Miles, he's like, all right, I'm out, and just like,
dude,
like
that's what I was
through
gonna
the
say.
Portal and through his like, oh, it was so cool.
Like him setting up like so when they're walking and talking, him and Miles, and Nueva, and like Hobie's, he's saying he's like don't sign up for something before you know what it is. Like he knows kind of a thing, and he is setting Miles up. He is preparing Miles, and I think it's awesome that he was like he is all about fuck authority, and it still stands for that, or it still counts fuck authority when it's the Spider-Verse.
Like when
it doesn't matter
when they trap him in that like bubble thing, and he's trying to do the thing, and he's like, hey man, palms, and he's like, oh yeah, like I was like, oh, that's so he's helping him, like it's awesome. Like,
and then he goes through, he's like, oh, and if it's not clear, I quit.
Yeah.
No, but
God, that was such a cool scene.
The like defining moment for me is Miles is doing the it's the roundabout spectacular, and all of them are like trying to get him to calm down, and Miles is freaking out, and Miles is like, I can do both, I can save it, and Hobie's like, yeah, now you're getting the picture, and then Jessica says, Hobie, you're not helping, and he just without missing a beat goes, good. Like he's like, I am poking the bear to the full.
I'm here to disrupt everything.
He's gonna break down the system.
Yeah,
it's awesome, and I just, it was such a good. And then even like to go all the way back to when they're saving the citizens of Spider-Man India's universe.
Oh, the Moonbatan.
Moonbatan. Thank you. When they're saving the citizens of Moonbatan, and like he's truly just happy to help people. Like when they succeed and they're all on the bridge, like he's the first person to go up to Miles and like shake him by the shoulders. Yeah, dude.
Like you did it. Yeah, like
he is, like, to your point, I also thought he was just gonna be some punk rock kid asshole, and it's like, which I would have been great with because that's funny. Yeah. But like, not only is he just that, because he is kind of that.
Yeah.
But he's also a really rounded character.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They wrote him so well. Like he's a true punk anarchist punk. Like all he wants to do is just cause trouble, whether that's helping someone, whether that, you know, even that if that includes helping Miles, he's like, as long as it's causing, you know, not mayhem, but like, you know, as long as I'm not following the man or, you know,
Yeah.
following the rules, I'm cool with it. You know, like, so when he had to, you know, when he taught Miles the shocky thing, like the, you know, I was like, that's fun. That's fun.
Palms, palms. I also like everyone keeps talking about Spider-Man India's glow up, which is true. Like he looks so good in this movie compared to his comic book version.
Oh, really?
I want to point out Spider-Punk's glow up. Spider-Punk in the comics looks great, but like once I saw this version, I'm like, this one is so much better.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Punk in the comics it's an original suit, but it's still the onesie and he's got Chucks on and he's got the vest on and he's got the spikes. And it looks great. Like it's very cool Spider-Punk. I love the Spider-Punk design. But then this version, he's got the skinny jeans, he's got the ripped shirt, he's got like it's just like so good.
It looks awesome. Was that like a pretty like comic accurate version of Spider-Punk? Like is he British? I mean, did we know if he's British in the comics or okay.
So I actually in the comics, he's definitely a New Yorker. Because his arch nemesis is Mayor Osborn, who is Venom.
Oh, really?
It's a pretty wild story. But like I think the only difference between them is that he's a New Yorker, not British.
Not British. Okay.
But I loved that because I think it's this kind of it's an Easter egg to this. Spider-Punk's design was originally for Spider UK, the British Spider-Man of the multiverse. But the Dan Slott, the writer I mentioned earlier, he was like, that doesn't work for Spider UK, but I have an idea now.
Yeah.
And so he made him a completely different character. So I like the idea of making him British because to me that goes back to like his roots kind of.
Yeah. The original plan for him. Yeah.
Right. And dude, it works so well. How are you cool under the mask too? I was just always cool.
I was just always cool, man.
Everything about that character rocks. All right, I'm good. I don't know. Is there any? I think
we covered pretty much
yeah
everything I can think of. Yeah, I mean, we broke down pretty much good amount of the story of and where it's going to lead to in the next one.
Can't believe the next one is March. It
was funny. It's my Kayla's nephew. We were talking at the end. He was like, "Oh, how long do you think we'll have to wait for the next one?" I'm like, "I don't know, bud. Probably like 2 or 3 years. You know, these movies they're kind of long." And then they were like, "Oh, next March." I was like, "Oh shit, we're gonna be able to see it next year." Like, that's awesome.
I think once they realized that they truly wanted, like, because I think they signed on for a trilogy, but once they realized, oh, we want a 2-parter, they were like, we can't. I think they were like, we can't just like make it a 3-year gap or something. Like, we can't do that to them. We gotta do the Avengers thing and just go back to back.
I'm so excited.
I know. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony delays it a couple of months.
I'm also thinking maybe
March
because
is such a bad.
Yeah. I'm also thinking the writer's strike too might have an effect unless it's already written.
I think it's all done, dude.
Okay, yeah. Then
I don't know.
As long as it's not an animator strike, I think we should be good.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, I'll be. Apparently, this movie was also getting like edited like the week before. Like, apparently, like Jake Johnson was being interviewed, and he said there was a point where after they went to the premiere, which was 4 days before the worldwide premiere, like. Mm-hmm. And apparently, I don't know if it was Lord or Miller, but one of them texted him and was like, "Hey, so did you have any notes for the movie?" And he was like, "What are you talking about, bro? Like, this is it.
Premieres,
like,
yeah."
It was like, we still got this. And apparently, like, truly, like, there might be changes to it. Not, I don't think big changes, but like, just technical things might be done for its like home release. Like, apparently, a lot of theaters, like IMAX theaters, are having audio issues with it. Like,
oh wow,
yeah, like there's weird things like, but. So do I think they're completely done part 3? No, they're definitely working on it.
Yeah.
I think the delay, maybe the writer's strike has something to do with it. I hope not, but I mean, also, pay the writers or whatever. But like, I think more likely than not, this movie is going to go through the roof, and Sony's gonna be like, why don't we make that a summer blockbuster, not a March release?
I could see that because the
money.
The first one came out during Christmas, I remember, because I remember seeing it like the day after Christmas or something like that. This one, I guess this one's technically sort of a summer
Oh, this is
release.
definitely like
Yeah.
it's a summer kickoff movie, dude.
Yeah.
Transformers, which I didn't know a new one was even on the way in, comes out next week. Like we're
I
in
didn't.
summer blockbuster mode
Did you?
now.
So did they play the trailer for it
I
for
I,
in
I
theater?
missed it
It
for
it
Transformers.
was
I missed it.
2 seconds. It was
What?
like it was like a thing of Bumblebee, and then it showed like a gorilla, and then it showed Optimus Prime like, oh my gosh, they're here or whatever. Autobots. And then it was like June 16th, Transformers Rise of the Beast. And I was like, that was it? Like that's the trailer? Like it was literally like maybe 30 seconds. Like
They know what they need. They're like,
yeah.
do you like Transformers? There's a Transformers. Go
There's a
see the
Transformer, and now
Transformers.
the animals are going to be Transformers.
And now they're the Beast Transformers. Go see the Beast Transformers. You know you like Transformers.
Also, I saw that new Flash trailer for the first time in theaters, like the newest
I
one.
missed that too, dude. I missed
It
the
looks
Flash
good.
trailer.
Oh god,
Look good.
amazing. It looks amazing.
That's odd. I can't
Even
wait.
we're when we were leaving, even Kayla was like, she was like, "We are seeing the Flash movie in theaters."
Did
was
I
like,
tell you
"Hell yeah."
I got I got tickets for it Thursday before
Oh,
I
well,
got I got I got I got
hey.
the yeah, so I'm gonna see it.
I'm gonna try to do that too.
Valerie and I were talking, and I was like, it's the last night before I'm gone for because I gotta travel for stuff after that too.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be gone for like 7 or 8 days. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go see him. She was like, I kind of want to see this movie. I was like, all right, good. Well, as long as you
We'll
want
go
to
see
see
it.
it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see this movie. Yeah, so we're gonna see that then, and I'll probably see Spider-Man 3 more times before that too.
Woo.
So it's great. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. I have
Same.
some quick Star Wars hitters, like just real
Okay.
quick, like 5 minutes of thoughts if you want it.
Yeah.
I don't so oh shoot. I got Heir to the Empire, so I'm gonna read that.
Okay. Yep.
But I saw Empire Magazine. That's what the link. Empire Magazine released images for Ahsoka, and apparently confirmed a male Inquisitor is going to be in Ahsoka. Have you seen the image? Have you seen the image?
I saw there's a brief in one of the trailers. There's a brief like shot of an Inquisitor.
So he's helmeted. He's got a regular Inquisitor lightsaber. So no. Look, I'm just gonna say it. A lot of people theorizing it's Vader's apprentice, Starkiller.
That would be
and
awesome.
I am jonesed up.
Is it like the like his like the Starkiller
helmet? He's wearing an Inquisitor helmet, but it's like slightly unique that it looks like the Starkiller one.
That would be awesome.
I'm like that. I'm
it
trying
better be
not to.
It better be. I think it's same Winter or something like that. The guy who voices
Whitmer,
like that.
Sam W.
I mean, it's got to be him. Like he's an actor, so
especially because of the time period. Like he Starkiller in the game, which is Legends, which takes place between 3 and 4, is clearly like, I don't know, 20, something like that, like he's a kid. But this takes place after this is Mandalorian time. So like to me, like Sam W, Sam W is I think in his 40s. So like, he could play a 30 something. Like for sure. Like make him the same age as Ahsoka. Like I had to bring it up because I saw this. I was like, God damn it! I was
hope
like, don't get your hopes up, Zach. But it's already there.
You never know.
We are.
You never know.
We are.
Well, Filoni's bringing in Thrawn. So,
do you think? I think this is my last question for the night. I know they only announced Heir to the Empire as a movie. Are they going to do a trilogy?
I have a feeling I feel like they might see how this one does, and then they probably will. I mean, it probably might have already been greenlit for a trilogy, and they're just not publicly releasing it. But if they're naming the first one Heir to the Empire,
I feel like you got to have a feeling.
Yeah, they're going to do the trilogy.
And I love that idea of let's do a new series. Like,
but I have a feeling they're gonna replace Luke with Ahsoka,
which I'm fine with.
Yeah, we've had enough of Luke Skywalker.
We can leave that where it is I like using these other characters. Have Reva show up and like give her like a role that matters, and don't like screw her. Like you can use the characters you've now created in the expanded universe and like make it good.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. There's a thought.
I have a feeling they're gonna replace because in Heir to the Empire, Han and Leia and Chewie and all them are in the book.
Right.
I have a feeling that they might replace them with the Rebels crew. Have like
That makes sense. Yeah,
Hera, and all them. So
I'm in. You son
also
of a bitch.
I saw a thing. It was confirmed. I don't know if this is what you were gonna. Was that? Did you have anything else Star Wars wise?
I might have, and I forgot. I was done.
The Balin Skull or whatever his name is, the guy the guy with the orange lightsaber in the trailer.
Yeah.
He's confirmed to be an Order 66 survivor. So
okay. Did not see that. That.
I saw it's something that popped up on Instagram. It was like something, whatever, or Insider Edition, whatever BS magazine was like confirms that.
I'm a little mixed feelings about that, but I'll wait till the show at least.
Okay.
I think Disney's gotten to a point where it's like you can
everybody's in Order 66. Yeah,
like not everyone survived Order 66.
Yeah,
dude.
that's where I saw a lot of comments. They're like, all right, well, when are we gonna stop with these Order 66 survivors? Because like it's supposed to be the last jet. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Grogu. All right, cool. It's a baby. We saved the baby. Cal in a video game. It's the video game story. Yeah, that's great. And then it's like, all right.
And it's like, all right, Reva, all right. Okay. All right. Now
what do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do? Stop. Do it. Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I forgot Reva was one. See, that's
the Grand Inquisitor's technically one too. I mean, I know he turned, but
which one?
The Grand Inquisitor. He was a Jedi. I mean, I guess he's not an Order 66 survivor, but
that's
it's a gray area.
You're right. I'm splitting hairs here. If I'm gonna be upset, I might as well point fingers at him too. But I agree. I think that's Disney Star Wars right now. A lot of the things they're doing is let's have a child get saved, and then let's have someone survive Order 66.
Yeah,
but Filoni. So let's at least wait and see.
Yeah,
let's at least wait and see.
Could turn it. But yeah.
All right. Spider-Verse is fucking amazing. I can't even get over it.
Go see it. Go see it 5 times. Go see it 10 times. Amazing.
One last question.
Oh, go.
One last question. I don't care. This is not me saying I hope it happens. This is not me saying I'll be mad if it does or doesn't. Felt like it was pretty obvious that Tom Holland didn't show up. Does he show up with meaning in the next movie?
I kind of have a feeling they're just not gonna
bring him in at all.
I kind of have a feeling.
Yeah, I think that almost makes sense to not draw attention to them.
I honestly wasn't searching for him in this one because I was like, if they didn't bring him in the first one, I highly doubt they're gonna bring him in the second one. So I was just kind of I wasn't getting my hopes up to see him.
Mm-hmm. And then you get Prowler, which is the MCU.
Which is MCU.
That's you have your MCU cameo.
Yeah. So I mean, they might maybe they're waiting for the third one to maybe he teams up with Miles or whatever or something. I don't know, or does a quick hey, blah, 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 great power, great responsibility. It's thing. But I could also think that'd be more Peter B. Parker type thing. But
yeah, I definitely while that sounds fun, I don't think. I agree. I think that's a Peter B. Parker's responsibility kind of thing. Yeah. I would more think I could see somehow this introducing Miles into the MCU.
That's how I'm thinking they're gonna do. Yeah.
If I'm not saying this Miles joins the MCU, but I could see
Miles. Yeah.
Right. A Miles in a credit scene for the next one, and then he walks up to Tom Holland or something. I don't know. I felt weird not seeing him, but so that's what do we see him in the next one is kind of my question.
Yeah.
I think it's just as likely or unlikely. I don't think it's really any more so.
Also, was there a second end credit scene?
There's no credit scene.
There's no credit scene?
I stayed for the whole thing.
Okay. I was just making sure because I left after the main credits rolled, and then once the oh, I know. I guess it was coming next. Beyond the Spider-Verse was the technical credit scene,
right? Which was very cool. And the next title, the first set of credits rolled, it finished, and it goes Miles Morales will return in, and then it goes
Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Beyond the Spider-Verse.
But there wasn't anything after that.
No, okay. Which I liked because like the ending cliffhanger was your credit scene, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't actually need credit
We
scenes
didn't
for
need,
this
yeah,
movie.
yeah, which I'm glad movies are getting back to doing because, like,
Yeah,
yeah, the credit
agreed.
scenes are fun, but like, I don't like really sitting through all the fucking credits. I think, you know what I mean? Like, that takes forever. It's
You
like
got
15.
Ollie and your nephew, like yeah, you don't
Yeah.
wanna, yeah.
Well, it's also like it's like 15 minutes of like,
It is.
names, and I'm like, all right, can we just fast forward through this? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and read the 8 million animation directors that were on this thing. Like, kudos to them, they did an amazing job, but I'm not gonna sit here and
Nope.
read all their names.
Cut the animation department. Reddit hates them. Get them all.
Yeah, fuck them, get them out of here. No.
Thanks for watching. If you're
Thanks
all
for
the way
watching.
down to here,
We're still 3 away from that 50 subscriber milestone. So hey, if you want to hit that subscribe button, go right
I'm
ahead.
sure this is gonna get them. This is gonna do it. This is it.
Hey,
This is it.
if you liked it, hit it. If you didn't like it, stop watching. No. But yeah, no, thanks for tuning in to our little breakdown of Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, catch you on the next one.